Hey you all, it's me Jasmine. I know it's been a while. It's probably been about a week or two since I've seen you guys. Um, Today's topic is about how did I get here? A lot of us want to know that question. And it's sad because a lot of us really don't know. We really don't understand how we really got here. And today is going to be the best day. It's our lucky day because God has given me wisdom and knowledge, not only just from just hearing Him, but also hearing Him through other people and hearing Him through, He's brought people in my life to give me more wisdom and understanding on it. Not only that, but just going back and looking at the Word and reading what the Word says, and now that I have a more understanding of it, it makes a whole lot more sense of why people do the things that they do and why we act the way that we do, and why is it that we keep constantly having these issues and going through things, and why do we feel like we really can't get a hold on it, or why do we feel like we really can't control it? So I'm going to break it down to you guys today as far as what it is. I did write notes, so just, just kind of bear with me. So a lot of times I may not be looking like directly into the camera because I have notes here. So I'm going to be looking into the, sometimes I'll be looking back and forth into my notes. So just bear with me. Okay, so like I said, the topic is going to be about how did I get here? And a lot of us have that question. Okay, I want you guys to put down at the bottom and in the comments below as far as why do you think you are in the position that you are? Why do you think you're facing some of the challenges that you face today? A lot of us are unaware of these three things that I'm going to give out to you. Unhealed hurts, unresolved issues, unmet needs. All three of those things are causes of things, of traumatic experiences that maybe we didn't get growing up. So maybe it may be lack of love or rejection or abandonment or word curses, sexual abuse, or generational curses. And that's something that causes us to have those three issues. I also put down, because we do not know how to deal with the issues properly, we cope. So because we don't know how to handle these three things that we go through, we cope. Maybe it may be sexual gratification, or maybe it's drug abuse, or maybe it's overeating, maybe it's alcohol abuse. Alcohol abuse. Sometimes we're insecure, or we have a hard time committing ourselves to people and businesses and things. Or maybe we always overcompensate. Sometimes traumatic experience aren't always as severe as others. Okay, like for instance, molestation. If you're sexually abused, or maybe you're not sexually abused, maybe you're being beaten. That's going to have a whole nother other effect on you. That's going to have a whole nother, that may affect you a lot different than someone who's being word cursed. It's a little bit different. And sometimes it may not be as different. For me, I can definitely minister to the people who have lack of love, rejection issues, abandonment issues, word curses, sexual abuse, and also generational curses. I've been through all of them. I've been molested. I've been rejected by family members. I've been abandoned by family members because of, what they think or what they thought my parents were, so they saw me in that same light. So they didn't want to be around me. They didn't want nothing to do with me. So for me, I had a whole lot of unresolved issues, unhealed hurts, and unmet needs. Unhealed hurts is something like, okay, I'm hurt because I had lack of love. That's unhealed hurts. Sexual abuse, that's unhealed hurts. Unresolved issues can be all those things as well, which is a lack of love or rejection. Why was I rejected? Why wasn't I loved? It's not, the issue isn't the problem, or the issue was never resolved, so it's unresolved. Unhealed hurts are hurts that haven't been correctly healed. Same thing with unresolved issues. Are issues that were not correctly dealt with. Word curses. All these traumatic experiences can fall under unresolved issues, unhealed hurts, and unmet needs. Lack of love is unmet needs as well. So a lot of times, for me to get better or for me to feel better, I would cope by sexual gratification, overeating. I never did drugs because drugs just was never, not my thing, but that wasn't my way of coping. Overeating, insecurities, uncommitment, and I always overcompensated a lot of things. I had a lot of daddy issues. So that's my story. Everybody has a different story. Everybody doesn't, come out the same. If you want, we can, if you want to email me, you can. I'm going to have my email address, listed at the bottom of the video, so you guys can email me, or if you want, you can comment in my inbox, or if you like, you can also put a comment below. So it's up to you. And like I said, it doesn't always happen. It doesn't always affect us. So it's not always so severe. So maybe you was always called stupid or slow, or you didn't really have good grades in your classes, or you were always getting flunked or something like that. So for you always overcompensate, or you don't try hard at anything, or you're not committed to anything because you feel like, well, I'm stupid, I'm slow, I really can't comprehend, or it's hard for me to catch on. So I'm not really going to try my best. I'm not really going to put all my effort into it, and I'm not going to be committed to nothing because I'm slow, I'm stupid. And a lot of people don't realize, but all of these things come from the bottom. They come from a child. It starts from the playground. It doesn't start from the from you being an adult. No, all these things are emanating from your childhood. And a lot of us don't want to deal with it, but this is the reality of life. And people ask themselves, how did I get here? How did I get to this situation? Why is it that I can't concentrate? Why is it that I'm not committed? Why is it that I'm on all these relationships that these men or these women don't love me, or I'm being rejected, or I'm being abandoned, or I'm being cheated on, or I'm being sexually abused, or I'm being mentally, physically, spiritually abused? It's because of these things that are emanating or that are coming up from your childhood life. And I want to make it clear to you guys that we all are made up of three beings. That's one of the things that I have on my notes: spirit, soul, and flesh. We are tri-beings. Our spirit should be in charge. Our soul should follow, and our flesh is the bottom. Spirit is the spirit, and this is who the Holy Spirit communicates with. Our soul is made up of our will, our mind, and our emotions. Okay? And that's the one that really gets us in trouble the most. Our flesh is what gives out the act of what the soul wants, which is our physical being. I want you guys to turn to Matthew 26:41. So if you have it, just read along with me. If you don't, that's okay. You can always just rewind the video and it'll replay for you. It says here, stay awake and pray so that you won't enter into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak. So even here, it talks about the spirit. Remember I said how the spirit is the closest to the Holy Spirit? The spirit is willing to do what's right. The spirit is willing to be ready to have a great life and to be obedient and to be, ready to be free. But the flesh is the opposite. But why is the flesh the opposite? Is because it's connected to the soul. And the soul is made up of our mind, our will, and emotions. And that's what is the one that's being tormented the most, which is the soul. So God says to stay awake, which means to be aware. Be aware of what's going on. Be aware of what's around you. Be aware of what you're getting yourself into. Be aware of what you're listening to. Be aware of, who you're around and all those things. You have to make sure that you are protecting your mind, protecting your will, protecting your emotions, because anything that's attached to those traumatic experiences or any of those things that could cause you to go back to your coping, which isn't a good thing, could cause you to kill yourself. God says choose life or death, and your soul will kill you, especially because it doesn't know how to cope. And so like Matthew 26:41 says, make sure that you are, you're awake and you're praying. Always pray. You have to crucify your flesh every single day, y'all. It's not easy. I'm telling you from experience. I struggle. But I feel so much better when I pray and when I have faith. When I go ahead and I just pray and I take the time to have faith in God and believe in my source, everything else gets better. Okay? All right, another thing I have here is we are made just like Yahweh. Yahweh is God. Yeshua, which is Jesus. And then, you have the Holy Spirit. I want you guys to go to Genesis 1:26. And that's all the way in the beginning for those that don't know. Okay. It says here, then God said, let us make man in our image according to our likeness. They will rule the fish of the sea, the birds of the sky, the livestock, all the earth, and the creatures that crawl on the earth. So God created man in his own image. He created him in the image of God. He created them male and female. So we're made just like God. God is, like I said, a tri-being. He's God, He's Jesus, and He's the Holy Spirit. He's all three. We are all three. We are flesh, soul, and spirit. We're all three of those things. So we're made in His likeness. We're made in His image. Okay. And then I want you guys to know that there are even still some, church people who are still in bondage, trying to suppress their traumatic experiences as well. And, we go to prayer meetings and, without actually dealing with the root cause. And one thing that, I like to remember, or I like to repeat, is that you can keep cutting the weeds over and over, but if you never cut it at its root, if you never cut the problem at its root cause, it's always going to keep growing and growing and growing and growing. So I hope you guys learned a lot today, and just remember that whatever traumatic experience that you are having, or that you've had as a child. And if you can't remember, pray, ask God to bring that in remembrance of what is it exactly. Say, God, reveal to me, what is it? What is the traumatic experience that I went through? You know, lack of love, abandonment, word curses. Did your mother leave you? Did your father leave you? Were you abused physically? Were you abused mentally? Were you abused, were you rejected? Lack of love. Maybe, you may have been like me. Maybe you had daddy issues. You know what I'm saying? Or you had family issues. So every time, like a person like me, since I had daddy issues, I try to find a daddy in every man that I was with. I found myself trying to find that comfort, trying to find that protection. And if I saw any form of weakness of a man, I ran, because it reminded me of my father. And that's where judgment and unforgiveness comes in. Or it reminded me of, the men that were in my life. But that will be in another video. I also do have a prayer for you guys that I want you guys to read, but that's going to be in the next video, in the unforgiveness video. And I pray that you guys stay tuned. Find out what your traumatic experience is. I want everybody to write it down, and then I really want you guys to respond back. You can, like I said before, you can email me. I'm gonna put it in the link, at the bottom of the video. So just look at the bottom. You can inbox me on YouTube. You can leave comments. Whatever, you name it. You can Facebook me. It doesn't matter. You can DM me. It don't matter. But I pray that you guys have a blessed one. And I will talk to you guys soon. All right? Peace.